Hi everyone, it's Niamh here and welcome to my art journaling channel. Today I'm doing a quick flip through of a little 6x6 Dina Wakley journal. This is one I've been teaching art journaling classes recently, so this one's got a lot of my class samples in it that I've been doing. So, and a few other things because I had empty pages. So this is actually a gel print from the Bridget Coopson gel print challenge that happened in September, and it was doing a print using threads, which I'd never done before, and it just came up with this really cool sort of seaweed effect which I quite liked, and I did some stamping over top, so it was a good way to cover over my first page. A lot of these techniques you've probably seen before, so I'll just go through them quickly. This one's just using a magazine image and just doing Posca paint pens over the top and putting in a snarky comment, which I quite like. This one's some reductive printing, so this is one of my class samples that I did, teaching everyone how to do the collage in the background and how to white out the edges. It's a really simple page, just using some stenciling and the Tim Holtz collage tissues over the top. This one was exploring the sort of magazine collage and combining it with quotes, so kind of in the style of Tisha Moore and Di Reevely, and using washi tape as a really quick border, which I quite like. I don't use washi tape very much, so it's something I need to start using. These two pages were to demonstrate using modelling paste with black and white. This one was using the Distress oxide sprays. This one was using the Colour Blast powders over the top. So it's just an interesting effect. Those people who follow my channel for a while know my love-hate relationship with the oxides. When this was first done, it had beautiful colours in the background, and now they've really died down to this really chalky. You can hardly see the colours, about 5 different colours there, and you can hardly see them. So it's an effect. I'm not sure if I've grown to love it yet. This page is all about teaching people how to do some lace cutting and doing the organic shapes, but I actually I was showing how to draw fonts. So I'd drawn out this strong on the page, and I decided I'd cut it out and put it as part of the thing. And I actually used the cut out parts and stuck them on my front of my book. So that's how I got my front cover. When it was all stuck down, I just painted it with black gesso, put a little bit of wax over it, and I just added some doodling to it. So don't throw out your cutouts, because particularly in this book, because they're so thick, you can make some beautiful embossed, faux embossed covers. This page I really loved until I spilt some stuff on it. Was just showing people how to do a really quick sketch, or what the Stabilo oil pencil could do. So just quick sketch out and a little bit of water over the top, just to show that you can keep it simple sometimes and come up with something really nice. This is the second set of lessons that I did, and it was doing this technique in the background, which I know I've got a few videos on, which is just doing some sort of organic mark making and using different materials to see what the different marks make. And it was sitting in there for a while doing nothing, and I got the new collage tissues, so I decided to chuck those on the page just to finish it off a little bit. This is sort of an abstracty go of layering colours and using the stencils and some ghosting in the background, and again using the Stabilo oil pencil. So it's another class lesson, as was this one, which was again layering up the paints and using more straight paint rather than sort of watered down. So this is a more watery version, and this is using straight paints to show the examples. These two pages, this one was playing around with gel prints, again from the Bridget Coopson gel printing challenge. Sorry, I had mind blank. So I've actually got gel print in the background, and the tissue fitted over the top, so I added that to it. And this is for the Dina Wakley Media Challenge this year, which is a year of gratitude. So sort of saying what you're grateful for. This was a page again for a class using the scribble sticks and just exploring how the scribble sticks work and how they're different from other mediums that we're making. Very similar technique to this one, just in the fact that instead of doing the collage in the background, you're just using colours. So this page just is. I had these beautiful bright colours in here, but I didn't know what to do with them. And the reason I haven't done much with them is they're actually spray inks, so I didn't want to do anything that would reactivate them. This is again another gel print that I had sitting around that sort of fitted in with the colours on the page. And I found in this book that I've actually left some half finished pages, or I haven't finished off the entire page, and I quite like that. So I'm really restraining myself from going back and actually doing anything to it. This is another class sample, which again you've seen on my channel, just showing people how to do simple abstract flowers and doing the collage bits and pieces in the background using a different colour palette. This is a tape transfer from a gel print, which again was a new technique that I hadn't done before. It's a bit hard to see with the glare on the screen, but the good thing about tape transfers is you can actually, that was stamped onto the surface of the gel plate and transfer it off, so you can actually put text down and transfer it so it's readable, because you're actually taking the back layer rather than the layer facing down. It's a bit of a tricky one to explain, but if you are interested in how to do it, if you go to Bridget Coopson's Instagram page or look her up on YouTube, she does lots of examples and videos on how to do this technique, and it's a really cool one to sort of find out about. Underneath this page was a failed gel print that didn't work. It was really interesting, had lots of stamping and layers in it, but just didn't transfer over well. So I just glued a collage sheet over the top and added a little bit of, very little bit of colour. All the colours coming from the gel print underneath. So I know what's under there, but it was a bit of a mess and it needed something done to it. This is a really, really simple page using two of the images from the Collage Collective. They're a little bit short for the page, so I've just sort of extended them up and tried to use the same loose lines to finish them off using the Stabilo oil pencil, and then just had the 3 words down there. So I like that it's very monochromatic. This page is the same as the page back here. When I do classes, I like to have a go at doing the technique again first, just so it's fresh in my memory, and I go through and work through all the problems that could possibly come up. So I want to do this in this journal just to see it all worked okay. It did. So that's the page I did as a sample, I think, and this is a page we actually did in class. So you can sort of see the slight similarities. And when I did it, I had some extra paint on this page. This is another gel print in the background, and using some chipboard, which I don't tend to use in my books very often as well. This is actually the final page I've done in my journal. This is the page I did today, and it was practicing one of the figures that I was taught how to draw by Tracy Scott from Paper Artsy. This background I've had sitting in my journal for a little while, which I really loved but didn't know what to do with, and I love the fact the face sort of, I drew the face so it fits in with this sort of radiating hat coming out. And I needed to write this quote out because I had a comment on YouTube basically saying, you know, why do you use Dina Wakley media stuff so much? If everyone's doing that, everyone's going to be a carbon copy of each other and nothing's an original, and you should think outside the box more. And everyone's entitled to their opinion, and that's fine. My response to that, I suppose, is I art journal because I love doing it. I really enjoy it, and using the Dina Wakley media stuff brings me joy. I love her style. It makes me happy. I like the colours that she has because they're colours that make me happy. So why wouldn't I do something that makes me happy? I know that style's not for everyone. I totally get that. I totally get that you don't want everyone being a carbon copy. But how do you learn to do something? I think for a lot of people, being able to replicate and practice using samples of what people do really helps them learn the techniques. And once you've learnt the techniques, then you can go off and do lots of different other stuff. But to give yourself the confidence to learn the techniques, I think if you've got some sort of guideline or some sort of guide to help out, I think that helps for some people. And I certainly agree that, you know, we shouldn't all be a carbon copy of each other, but I think it's okay as well if it's something that brings you joy and it makes you happy. That's okay too. And for me personally, I put stuff up on YouTube because it's just stuff I do and it makes me happy, and if people learn from that, that's fantastic. And if you get a technique out of it or find something that you'd like to do, that's fantastic, and go ahead and copy it or change it or think outside the box or let it inspire you. That's brilliant. And for those people who follow my channel, you know I get inspired by so many people as well. And I always shout them out and say, this is where the inspirations come from. Just like this lady, you know, yes, I drew that all by hand myself, but I drew it after doing a class by Tracy Scott. So, you know, I give her credit for that, because without those things that she taught me, I wouldn't be able to do that. So, yeah, sorry, big long ramble. But that's what I was feeling. And anyway, what I decided to say was, you just have to have a positive, positive people do have negative thoughts sometimes. I'm great at having negative self-talk, but they don't let them grow and destroy themselves or others. And I suppose it's all about being kind to yourself and being kind to other people. And one thing I tell my kids at school is it kind and is it helpful? Is it going to help that person, or is it going to make them miserable? Does it need to be said? So, yeah. Sorry. These are the final 2 pages in the book. I hate this page. I really can't stand it. I don't know what I was thinking when I was doing this page, but it's in my book and it's finished. It's just a muddle of colours. It was where I was cleaning off paints in my book and it just didn't work together. But it is what it is. This page I actually quite like, but it's just so jarring against this page, it doesn't quite work. So I might come back and do something with this, or I might just put it on the shelf and put it as a lesson of what is. But that's it. So thank you very much for this mini flip through. I hope there was something in there that piqued your interest. And until next time, bye for now.